Zuckerberg Metaverse slammed for ugly
Zuckerberg's
graphics.
Meta launching a virtual reality game, Horizon Worlds, in France and Spain this week. And with that launch, this photo of Metaverse Zuckerberg himself in front of a virtual reality Eiffel.
Bro, just for context, I'm pretty sure they invested like, I don't know how many billions of dollars into this, and they essentially made a mobile game. Like, I get they've got to optimize it for VR, and the VR tech isn't quite there yet, but dude, like, why? They made him like a creepy looking Sims character.
Tower, and what's supposed to be La Sagrada
He failed to make himself look human even in the world that he created.
Familia in Barcelona. Now he's getting dragged on the internet for how ugly the graphics of this game are. Fortune.
Damn, CNBC's going on.
International laughing
$10 billion selfie. International laughing stock. Why the metaverse has to look so stupid. Does Mark Zuckerberg not understand how bad his metaverse looks?
Slate labeling the look so
yeah, he does look like a wee character.
Asking, does Mark Zuckerberg not understand how bad his metaverse is? CNBC technology correspondent Steve Kovac is here. Apparently he does know how bad it is because he changed it or made an announcement he's planning to change it, right?
Yeah, that's right, Eamon. He made an announcement just a couple hours ago, actually, after 3 or 4 days of people really making fun of this graphics. I mean, I played computer games back in 2002 when I was just a teenager that looked better than this. So he basically said, look, you know, this is basic. We're working on it. We're going to make it better. And he put a picture kind of teasing what it might look like in the future. They've showed those images before, so you can be a little skeptical.
Slightly better lighting, more detail on the hair.
From 2008 to me, right? I mean, it had a very kind of retro feel. Was that intentional, or did they just screw this up?
I think, well, screw up is a very strong way to say it, but it's definitely not.
But they spent billions. I mean, they pivoted their entire company to the metaverse,
not
right?
Just billions, Eamon. $10 billion. That is
$10 billion.
We saw of Mark Zuckerberg. That's
all right. So here's my only thought. Like, before we keep going with this, when it comes to making VR games, like the technology isn't there for you to power a super realistic game. Like, I know this is lame for me to take this all seriously and try to be on Mark's side, but just hear me out. You can slam it all you want for looking like a Wii game, but the bottom line is that the VR headset technology is not good enough to be powering super realistic games yet. And especially if we want like high refresh rate, high frame displays to reduce motion sickness and to increase the enjoyability of the game, it's almost better to create something that's more bare bones and just really basic looking, that's super easy to run, that you can have a ton of games on, it's easy to make updates for as you kind of roll out this game and make it more easily accessible. Whatever the metaverse is, like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of the perspective that people have to take on it.
That's what
I'd rather have more realistic digital characters or just me characters. No in between, no more, no less. Yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, I don't know, they didn't make any, I know the metaverse, ideally, the concept, right, is supposed to be this like one-to-one replica of the world, the real world, and it's supposed to look, you know, super realistic, and it probably will at some point in the future. But right now, as we're like trying to figure out whatever the hell the metaverse is, I don't know. I know I'm like, I shouldn't be.
This isn't an incompetence in terms of the technology and the design. This is a strategic choice somebody made that just turns out to be a bad choice, right?
Right, and they're starting off very slow. They keep in mind they're starting from scratch on all of this, so it is going to look a little rough around the edges at first. So to give them credit, yes, they're by their own admission, this is a beta product. It's only in a few countries. This selfie came out because it's launching in Spain and France. So they're building this very slowly and deliberately. Mark Zuckerberg himself said it could be 10 or 15 years before this vision actually pans out. So maybe one day we'll be laughing at this.
Answer me this: what is the metaverse? What are they trying to build here?
Everyone has a different definition. The metaverse is kind of lost.
I'm not going on VR chat right now.
What Facebook is trying to do is build a virtual set of worlds that you can go in and explore and build yourself. So you can go and create a game for people.
Is this a lifestyle? Is this a game?
It can be
is this
anything.
Social media? What is this?
It's also a way for people to work in the metaverse. So
I'm not working in the metaverse.
I reported on this story, people who work in this game called Roblox, and they actually make a living selling digital items. That's what Mark Zuckerberg.
You can't work on the computer. It's not real life. These new kids have no idea what the hell's going on. Did you know 85% of families that bought the Wii at launch in 2006 have gotten divorced? I believe that.
Wants Facebook or /Meta.
It's true for me.
To turn into this whole economy, this virtual 3D world economy. And of course, Facebook collects taxes on that.
And they want to be the New York Stock Exchange of this new economy. Yeah. They're the place where all the trading takes place.
Get a slice of every transaction, just like Apple gets a slice of every app sold, they want a slice of every transaction in this universe.
You're telling me there's some money to be made here. How much do you think? How big is this going to be?
So if you ask Mark Zuckerberg, hundreds of billions, maybe $1 trillion.
So enough to buy some good graphics.
Enough to buy some good graphics and some better hardware for sure.
Okay. Steve, thanks. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
10 or 15 years. I mean, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like, it could take a really long time to make it look realistic to have, because here's the thing, the technology will always move faster than the culture. And I think that's the hardest thing for Facebook to overcome, right? Like they could dump a bunch of money into this and make it super realistic and make it really fun. But if it's out of the price range, if the technology isn't good enough yet to make it affordable for everyday people, if there's not enough people buying it, like it needs to be in the culture in order for people to like give a shit about it, right? Like people, it needs to be like as common as social media. Everyone's got it on their phone. It needs to be like everyone's got a VR headset in their house. And instead of like FaceTiming your family member that lives across the country, instead you guys hop into a virtual world together. You put on your VR headset and you both sit down in a chair, but in your VR headset, it looks like you're sitting at a table together playing cards. And that's going to be like the next iteration of like social interaction. The culture will be the hardest thing to overcome. That's going to move the slowest. The technology will be fast, and the best iterations of this will come out really expensive, and it'll be super exclusive for a very small amount of people that will be able to test this out. And then as the tech gets better and more affordable, more people will buy it and more people will become, into that like idea. What if we kissed in VR chat? Billiards, stop. I just want to play mini golf with you, man. I feel like that'd be so fun. But yeah, anyways, so that's the metaverse, man. And yeah, he's getting slammed now. And to be fair, this might be one of those things that we like look back on in 10 years and we're like, look at all these people calling it stupid now. And now it's as like normalized as social media is. I don't know. The way I look at it is it's like, this definitely does seem to be where we're headed. You know what I mean? The servers are up. Okay, let me finish this point. This definitely seems to be where we're headed. Socially, it just makes sense. This is the next iteration of social media. It just has to be.